What if I told you the vitamins you've been taking every morning, thinking they're keeping you healthy, might actually be doing the opposite? A major study from the Journal of the American Medical Association found that older adults who take the wrong supplements could face up to a 40% higher risk of early death. And that's not a scare headline. That's real clinical data. One vitamin on this list has been linked to brain shrinkage. Another increases the risk of stroke, nerve damage, and even heart failure, even at regular doses. And chances are, you might be taking one of them right now without realizing the harm. Here's the thing. After age 65, your body changes in ways that most supplement labels don't account for. Your liver slows down. Your kidneys don't filter as well. Your nervous system becomes more fragile. So when certain vitamins build up in your system, they start damaging your cells quietly, causing symptoms we often mistake for just getting older. But many of those symptoms, they're not just age, they're avoidable. In this video, we'll go through 4 vitamins you should never take after 65 and 4 you should start taking daily to stay strong, sharp, and independent. And make sure to watch all the way through, because vitamin number 1 has been linked to a 36% lower risk of death from all causes in one of the largest studies ever done on seniors in Europe. Before we dive in, go ahead and type in the comments where you're watching from. We'd love to know. Now let's begin with a vitamin that seems helpful on the surface, but may be slowly hurting you over time. Let's start with a vitamin that most people still think of as helpful, even essential. But in reality, for older adults, it can quietly do more harm than good. Vitamin A sounds like something you'd want more of. After all, it supports your vision, boosts your immune system, and keeps your skin healthy. But after 65, too much vitamin A, especially in the retinol form, can quietly become toxic. The problem is vitamin A is fat-soluble. That means your body doesn't flush out the extra. Instead, it stores it in your liver and fat tissues. And as you age, your liver slows down, your body's fat distribution shifts, and what you take today can slowly build up over time. And when it does, it starts acting like poison. The signs are subtle: dry skin, dizziness, blurry vision, joint pain. Things you might chalk up to aging, but they could be symptoms of vitamin A overload, especially if you're taking more than 2,000 to 3,000 micrograms a day from supplements like multivitamins or liver support pills. A 2022 review in the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that seniors with excessive vitamin A intake had a 25% higher risk of developing atrial fibrillation, a heart rhythm disorder that raises the risk of stroke. That's serious. So if you're taking a multivitamin that includes retinol or retinol palmitate, it might be time to take a closer look. You still need vitamin A, but not in this form. Instead, get it from foods rich in beta-carotene, like sweet potatoes, carrots, spinach, and eggs. Beta-carotene is a plant-based version that your body can convert into vitamin A, but only when it actually needs it. That means it's much safer, especially as you age. If your supplement label lists retinol and the dosage is over 700 micrograms for women or 900 for men, you may be putting unnecessary stress on your liver, eyes, and heart. The safer path? Skip synthetic vitamin A. Choose whole foods. And if you're taking a multivitamin, make sure it's labeled beta-carotene only or no retinol added. That one small switch could protect your heart, your balance, and your brain without you even realizing it. Now let's talk about iron. It's often seen as a cure for fatigue, but after 65, it can slowly build up in ways your body isn't prepared for. Iron is essential, no doubt about it. It helps make red blood cells, carries oxygen, and prevents fatigue. But here's what many people over 65 don't realize. Unless you've been diagnosed with iron deficiency anemia, taking extra iron may actually do more harm than good. After menopause, women no longer lose iron through menstruation. And men, they rarely lose iron at all. So when you keep adding iron through supplements, especially multivitamins marketed for energy or vitality, it starts building up in your organs. And that buildup doesn't just sit there, it turns toxic. Unlike water-soluble vitamins, iron is stored in places like your liver, heart, and pancreas. Over time, too much iron triggers something called oxidative stress. a process where unstable molecules damage cells, fuel inflammation, and age your tissues from the inside out. You might feel it as joint pain, fatigue, brain fog, or irregular heartbeat. But what's really happening could be silent damage to your organs, damage that's often mistaken for normal aging. Even worse, excess iron has been linked to Alzheimer's, heart disease, and some cancers. And yet, many seniors are still taking iron just in case, without knowing if they need it. Here's the truth. Most older adults get plenty of iron from food alone. It's in red meat, spinach, beans, and fortified grains. And if your diet is balanced, your iron levels are probably fine, or even too high. So what should you do? Check your supplement label. If it contains iron, and you haven't been told by your doctor to take it, stop and reassess. Ask your doctor for a serum ferritin test or transsaturation test. These simple blood tests show how much iron your body is actually storing. If your levels are high, cutting back on red meat and avoiding iron-containing supplements is a smart move. Better yet, choose a multivitamin labeled iron-free, especially designed for older adults. Because while iron is vital when you're young, after 65, it can quietly become one of the most damaging things you put in your body. Next is one you've probably heard about your whole life: calcium. But just because it's good for bones doesn't mean more is always better. We've all heard it. Take your calcium, it keeps your bones strong. And for decades, that's exactly what millions of older adults have done. But here's the part that rarely gets mentioned. Calcium supplements, especially when taken alone, can quietly increase your risk of heart attack and stroke. Sounds hard to believe, right? But it comes down to one simple truth. Where calcium goes in your body matters just as much as how much you take. When you were younger, your bones absorbed calcium quickly, thanks to strong hormones and growth signals. But after 65, especially in postmenopausal women and older men, that system slows down. Your bones don't take in calcium like they used to. And the extra? It doesn't just disappear. It starts drifting into your joints, your kidneys, and most dangerously, into the walls of your arteries. That's how a supplement meant to protect your bones can end up hardening your blood vessels. And over time, that raises your risk for serious cardiovascular events. A growing number of studies now link high calcium supplementation to increased arterial calcification, digestive issues like constipation and bloating, and even interference with the absorption of other key minerals like zinc, iron, and magnesium. And if you're one of the many older adults taking antacids or acid blockers for heartburn, that only makes things worse, because low stomach acid means your body can't absorb calcium efficiently to begin with. So what's the better path? Get your calcium from real food. Leafy greens like kale and collard greens, sardines with bones, almonds, chia seeds, yogurt. These sources deliver calcium in a form your body can actually use, and with the cofactors it needs to guide it into your bones, not your arteries. And if you truly need a supplement, make sure it includes vitamin D3 and vitamin K2. These two nutrients help shuttle calcium into the right places, your bones, and keep it out of the wrong ones, your arteries. If your multivitamin is giving you 500 to 1,000 milligrams of calcium on top of a calcium-rich diet, it might be time to rethink your plan. Because your bones don't just need calcium. They need balance, movement, and proper support. And your heart? It needs calcium to stay out of the way. This next one might surprise you. Vitamin B6 is in nearly every multivitamin. And yet, in high doses, it can quietly damage the very nerves that keep you steady. This one surprises almost everyone. Vitamin B6 is often seen as harmless, just another part of your daily multivitamin. It's supposed to help with energy, support nerve health, and clear up brain fog. But after 65, high doses of B6 can quietly damage your nervous system in ways that are hard to reverse. Here's the part most people don't know. Even though B6 is a water-soluble vitamin, it doesn't behave like the others. Your body doesn't flush out the extra as easily as you might think, especially when the dose is high and taken consistently over time. Instead, excess B6 builds up in your tissues, and when it builds up in the nervous system, it starts to interfere with how your nerves send and receive signals. That's when things go wrong. Tingling in your feet, burning in your hands, loss of balance, weakness in your legs. These are classic signs of B6 toxicity, but many seniors are misdiagnosed with diabetic neuropathy, arthritis, or just normal aging, when in fact the real problem is coming from a supplement. Here's what the research says. Even 50 milligrams of B6 per day, taken over months, can cause nerve damage in older adults. That's half the official upper limit, and yet many energy or brain-boosting supplements contain 100% to 250% of that amount in just one serving. Now imagine you're also taking a multivitamin, drinking a fortified shake, or eating cereals that add B6. The total can quietly creep up without you noticing. And once the damage is done, healing takes time, especially for aging nerves. Have you ever felt tingling in your feet, unusual fatigue, or just that frustrating mental fog that won't lift? Let us know in the comments. You might be helping someone else feel less alone, and start asking the right questions. So what should you do? You still need B6, but only in small, safe amounts. The daily recommended intake is 1.5 milligrams for women and 1.7 milligrams for men, and you can easily get that through food: chickpeas, tuna, turkey, bananas, fortified grains. No high-dose pills needed. Unless a blood test shows you're truly deficient, which is rare, you should avoid supplements with more than 5 to 10 milligrams per serving. And be especially cautious with any product that claims to boost energy, brain power, or nerve health. Many of them pack in more B6 than your body can safely handle. After 65, more doesn't mean better. When it comes to B6, more can mean nerve damage that mimics old age, but doesn't have to be part of it. So now you've seen the 4 vitamins that can quietly cause damage if you're over 65. But here's the good news. Just as the wrong nutrients can wear you down, the right ones can lift you up. There are 4 vitamins and nutrients that your body desperately needs as you age. Ones that support your muscles, your nerves, your memory, and even your heart. And the best part? Many seniors start to feel the difference in just a few weeks after getting these right. Let's begin with one of the most overlooked but powerful helpers for aging bodies: magnesium. If you often feel tired for no clear reason, if your legs cramp at night, or if sleep just doesn't come easily anymore, there's a good chance your body is running low on magnesium. Magnesium is involved in over 300 processes in your body. It helps regulate blood sugar, keeps your heartbeat steady, supports nerve and muscle function, and even calms anxiety. But as we age, magnesium becomes harder to hold on to. Your body absorbs less from food, your kidneys flush more of it out, and many common medications like blood pressure pills, antacids, or diuretics only make the loss worse. The result? Low magnesium levels that creep in slowly, showing up as fatigue, poor balance, stiff muscles, or even memory issues. And if you've ever felt those nighttime muscle cramps or that tight, restless feeling in your legs, you're definitely not alone. Feel free to share it in the comments. You might be surprised how many others are going through the same thing. One study found that more than 70% of older adults aren't getting enough magnesium, and they don't even know it. But once magnesium levels are restored, many seniors notice better sleep, fewer cramps, steadier energy, and sharper focus. So where do you get it? The best food sources are dark leafy greens, avocados, almonds, pumpkin seeds, and black beans. But even with a healthy diet, today's soil is depleted, and many seniors still fall short. If you decide to supplement, be smart about the form. Magnesium oxide is cheap but poorly absorbed and often causes bloating. Instead, look for magnesium glycinate, citrate, or malate, gentler on the stomach and better absorbed by aging bodies. The ideal daily amount for most older adults is 250 to 400 milligrams, depending on your diet, medications, and health conditions. It's one small shift that can help your body feel steadier, sleep deeper, and move more freely again. And sometimes that's all it takes to start feeling like yourself again. Next is vitamin D3. You might think of it as the sunshine vitamin, but after 65, it plays a much bigger role than most people realize. Most people think of vitamin D as the sunshine vitamin that keeps your bones strong. But after 65, it becomes much more than that. Vitamin D, especially in the form of D3, is like a behind-the-scenes manager for your whole body. It supports your immune system, muscles, mood, and even brain function. And yet, most older adults are walking around with far too little of it. Here's why. As we age, our skin becomes less efficient at converting sunlight into vitamin D. We also tend to spend more time indoors, wear long sleeves, or live in places with limited sun exposure, especially in winter. Even if you eat a healthy diet, it's hard to get enough. And low levels can lead to fatigue, weak muscles, brittle bones, poor balance, and even increased risk of infections. A major study published in the British Medical Journal found that seniors with low vitamin D had up to a 50% higher risk of respiratory infections and were 30% more likely to die from all causes, including heart disease, diabetes, and certain cancers. But that's not all. Vitamin D3 helps turn on specific genes inside your muscle cells, genes that help maintain strength and reaction time. So when levels drop, your risk of falling increases too. So what should you do? First, get your levels tested. A simple blood test can show where you stand. If you're low, most experts recommend 1,000 to 2,000 IU of vitamin D3 per day, or more if your doctor advises it. Make sure it's the D3 form, also called cholecalciferol, the same kind your body naturally makes from sunlight. It's far more effective than the older type, D2. And here's a key detail most people miss. D3 works best when taken with food that contains fat, and even better when paired with vitamin K2. Why? Because K2 helps guide calcium to your bones and away from your arteries, preventing the problems we discussed earlier. Vitamin D3 may not seem dramatic, but when it's missing, everything feels harder. Thinking, moving, even sleeping. Replenishing it can quietly transform how you feel each day. And for many seniors, it's the one missing link that brings strength and energy back online. Another one that's often missed, vitamin B12. It's critical for energy, memory, and balance, yet many older adults are low on it without even knowing. If you're over 65, there's a real chance you're low on vitamin B12 and don't even know it yet. The signs start small. A little fatigue here, some forgetfulness there. Maybe your hands or feet feel a bit tingly sometimes. But over time, low B12 can quietly mimic conditions like dementia, muscle weakness, or balance problems. And sadly, it's often missed until the damage is harder to reverse. Here's what's really going on. As we age, our stomachs produce less acid, and that acid is key to unlocking B12 from the food we eat. So even if you're eating meat, eggs, or dairy, your body might not be absorbing much at all. It gets worse if you're taking common medications like antacids or metformin. Those make B12 absorption even harder. And slowly, your nerves and brain begin to pay the price. But the good news is, this kind of deficiency is easy to fix once you know what to look for. Instead of relying on food alone, many seniors benefit from supplemental B12, especially in forms like methylcobalamin or cyanocobalamin. These versions don't need much stomach acid to absorb. Your body can take them in directly through the mouth or gut. You can find them in small tablets, lozenges that melt under your tongue, or even weekly injections if your levels are very low. Most people do well with 500 to 1,000 micrograms per day. But always check with your doctor, especially if you've had symptoms or take other medications. And here's the best part. Your body doesn't store much extra B12, so any excess is flushed out. That makes it one of the safest supplements you can take. So if you've been feeling a little off lately, low energy, slower thinking, or more clumsy than usual, it might not be just old age. It could be a simple fix, one small nutrient that helps you stay sharp, steady, and strong. And finally, omega-3. It's not technically a vitamin, but for your brain, your heart, and your joints, it's one of the most powerful nutrients you can take. It's not technically a vitamin, but if you're over 65, omega-3 is one of the most important nutrients you can give your body, especially the forms called EPA and DHA. These are the types your brain, your heart, and your joints rely on, quietly, every single day. What makes omega-3 so special? Let's start with something powerful. A large study in Europe followed over 42,000 older adults and found that those with higher levels of omega-3 in their blood had a 36% lower risk of dying from any cause. That's not just impressive, it's life-changing. And in another study, people over 60 who took omega-3 had a nearly 45% lower risk of dying from heart attacks. That's not a small benefit. That's the kind of impact that can add years to your life and quality to those years. But the real beauty of omega-3 is how it helps you feel right now. It supports memory and focus. It calms inflammation that stiffens your joints and tires out your muscles. It helps keep your heartbeat steady and may even lift your mood if you're feeling low. And yet, more than 2/3 of older Americans aren't getting enough, mostly because they don't eat enough fatty fish, and they're not supplementing in a way their bodies can absorb well. Still not sure if you're getting enough omega-3? Just type omega in the comments, and we'll share a few simple tips to help you figure it out. You're definitely not alone. If that sounds familiar, don't worry. This is one of the easiest problems to fix. Start with food when you can. Salmon, sardines, and mackerel are great sources. But let's be honest, most people don't eat those 2 or 3 times a week. So adding a fish oil supplement can help close the gap. When choosing one, don't just grab the cheapest bottle. Look for a product that gives you at least 1,000 milligrams of EPA and DHA combined per day. That's the amount shown to support heart and brain health in older adults. And pay attention to quality. You want one that's been tested for purity, so it's free from mercury and other contaminants. If the label says it's in triglyceride form, that's even better. It's easier for your body to absorb. Take it with a meal that contains healthy fat, something like eggs, avocado, or olive oil. That helps your body take it in more fully and reduces the chance of that fishy aftertaste. And if you don't eat fish or follow a plant-based diet, don't worry. There are excellent omega-3 supplements made from algae. They deliver the same kind of EPA and DHA your body needs, without the fish. The truth is, omega-3 is one of those quiet protectors. It won't shout for your attention, but when it's missing, you feel it. In your joints, your memory, your energy, and when it's there, you feel more like yourself again. It helps you move better, think clearer, and stay steady in a world that keeps moving. So now you know the truth. Some vitamins that once seemed harmless can quietly work against your body after 65. But the right ones, when chosen with care, can begin to rebuild what time has worn down. Remember what we said at the beginning? Some vitamins may quietly harm you, but the right ones, taken the right way, can quietly heal you. This isn't about chasing miracles. It's about making small, thoughtful choices each day. Ones that protect your nerves, strengthen your muscles, sharpen your mind, and help you stay on your feet longer. Removing the wrong nutrients could spare you years of silent damage, and adding back what your body truly needs could help you feel more like yourself again. Because getting older isn't about doing less, it's about doing smarter. And even one small change, just one, can shift everything. Getting older doesn't mean giving up. It means getting wiser. It means tuning into what your body truly needs and finally giving it the care and attention it's been quietly asking for. If this video gave you something useful, maybe a new insight or just a moment that made you pause, go ahead and tap the like button. It helps us reach more people who, just like you, are looking for simple, natural ways to stay strong and independent. And we'd love to hear from you in the comments. Was there a vitamin that surprised you? Or maybe one you've been taking for years that you now see a little differently? Your story, even just a few words, might be exactly what someone else out there needs to feel less alone and more hopeful. If you know someone who could use this video, feel free to share it with them. You never know how much of a difference one small piece of information can make in someone's life. Thank you so much for spending your time with us today. And just remember, getting older doesn't mean getting weaker. You're not too old to feel strong again. Sometimes all it takes is one small, smart change, and everything starts to shift. You've made it this far because deep down, you haven't given up on your health, and neither have we. Stay well, stay curious, and we'll see you in the next video.